9:38, welcome back. JB Robillard is here from Robillard Hearing Centers on Ask the Expert. All kinds of questions to field this morning. Lynn is on the telephone. And Lynn, you have a question about earbuds and the like, is that right?
Yes, my son is 14 years old, and like any other kids I see on the bus and out, they have, their earbuds in all the time, their phones, their music is loud.
Yeah.
Are they worried about hearing loss, or maybe just trust that the earphones are getting better quality over the last few years?
Yeah, that's a good question because, we talk about age-related hearing loss and so on and so forth.
Right.
What is there significance in that question, in that young people and the way they listen to music and...
Well, there's more recreational noise now than ever before, and what you might want to consider when we're looking at different earbuds for an iPod or an MP3 player, what have you, is basically I would suggest getting getting an earbud that doesn't go as deep into the ear canal, that has some leakage perhaps. You know? So really you want to decrease as much sound pressure as possible.
Right. What about the over-the-ear things? They seem to be even more popular these days than ever before.
Yeah, and I guess there's some, there's some danger with that. I mean, of course they're closing off the ear, so there's no leakage at all, and so sound is completely absorbed. So it potentially we have to be careful. Of course.
So the noise-canceling headphone could be one of the most dangerous things there is.
It's probably not recommended. Yeah, I mean, you want to reduce the sound pressure as much as possible.
There's also the fact that, let's face it, a lot of times people, I'm guilty of it too. Yeah. People just turn it up too loud.
People like loud music. That's right. Yeah. It's something to keep in mind. It's really just common sense. Quite frankly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. But so many people are wearing headphones or earphones these days, no question about it. Alicia's on the telephone. Hi, Alicia, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good. What's your question today?
My question is, I've been hearing a ringing in my one ear, my right side, on and off. And I was just wondering if that's something that's normal or if it's something I should get checked out.
Good question. And it's only in one ear, right?
It's only in one ear, the right side.
Is it quite distracting? Is it quite powerful?
It is sometimes. It's not very loud, but I do hear it on and off, mostly at night.
Mostly at night, okay. It's something that I would have evaluated, actually. You can speak to your family physician about it, or in fact you could just give us a call directly, and what we'd be able to do is have a look at the ear, and of course just test your hearing ability and see if indeed it's associated with any form of disorder or
Right. Yeah. So she's got a ringing in one ear, which is not uncommon, right?
It's not uncommon, but the fact that typically it's binaural. So it is asymmetrical. It's only in one ear. So the cautious thing to do is just get it checked out. Again, you can speak to your family physician about it, and they would give you some direction.
How often should people, JB, get their hearing checked?
I would only suggest getting your hearing tested if indeed you're experiencing a hearing loss. I mean, if you're having difficulty communicating, I think that's usually a good time to get evaluated and get a baseline. And just get an idea as far as what is your hearing ability.
Now, children should be tested early on in the early years.
That's right. They're
just to make sure.
They're typically tested at birth. That's correct.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with having a hearing test done if you feel like there may be something wrong.
Absolutely.
Because in children, a lot of times it's hard to detect.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. Which is why they normally do it at the hospital during birth. That's correct.
Yeah. Good point. All right, John's on the phone. Hi, John.
Hi.
What's your question today?
I was diagnosed with vertigo, and I was wondering if there's anything that you might be able to recommend for treatment, or it gets quite bad sometimes. It's almost looks like I'm ready to collapse.
Is the vertigo associated with the inner ear? Do you know?
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay. In that case, the best thing to do is to see an ear, nose, and throat doctor. So we have a specialist that focuses on those types of disorders, and they're really there's a lot of variables typically with that type of disorder with vertigo. Yeah. At times it can be associated with Meniere's, for instance. So the best thing to do is to speak to an ear, nose, and throat doctor and see what solutions would be most appropriate for you.
Not that you want to mess around with hearing loss, but when it comes to vertigo, you got to get on it. And
absolutely.
Because this thing can trouble you for a long time.
It can be very intrusive. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Much like hearing loss, it's one of those things that needs to be dealt with by a professional who knows what they're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, that's some of the major common occurrences that we see all the time. But again, if you experience any sort of difficulty in hearing, or you notice somebody else in your family, your partner, what have you, that's the time that adults should go get checked.
Absolutely. And the best thing to do through an evaluation, what you're going to get is just a baseline of your hearing ability. So if you sense that you're beginning to develop a hearing loss, that you're not quite hearing as well as you used to, that you're typically asking people to repeat, or maybe the TV is getting a little uncomfortably loud for those around you, the best thing to do, what we always suggest, is just get it tested. Get your hearing evaluated, and it's going to give you some direction.
Yeah.
It's going to allow you to acquire a baseline of your hearing ability, and that way, if it does develop, if it does deteriorate, then you're going to have a reference point. It's something that we always strongly recommend.
Go to the website. It's an awesome website, hearingisbelieving.com. Find out more. There's a hearing test on there. There's all kinds of information on there that can point you in the right direction to help you out and help alleviate some of your hearing troubles, or someone you know and love.
And if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to email our company. We'd be happy to answer them.
JB, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
JB Robillard here from Robillard Hearing Centers on Ask the Expert. Coming up on 9:45, quick break. We're back with more after this.